So you will see this vehicle do a pretty good job of keeping me in the lane on its own. It is intelligently parking this vehicle entirely on its own. All I am doing is holding this button down here. What is up, folks? Ethan here at Hunt Ford, and today we are doing a 4,000 mile driving review of this 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. This is a rapid red premium all-wheel drive Mach-E that we've had here at the dealership for about 7 months now. We've got it about the middle of January, early February. So we've had it for a few months. It's been in our loaner program. Ford gave us this as a mannequin unit. So we've been letting people test drive it, get a feel for it. We've been driving it ourselves, getting kind of an idea of how these things actually drive and how they work in practice. And so what we want to do today is we wanted to give you all a look at what this Mach-E has been like for the past several months and 4,000 miles. So I'll give you a quick walk around today, let you take a look at some of the cool features that we like, talk about what really works well in practice. We'll go for a drive through the city, go through a drive up and down the interstate, and I'll show you some of the cool driving assist features that Ford has put on this Mach-E. And we'll kind of tell you what we think about this Mach-E as a whole. So if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. Other than that, let's take a quick look. All right, so we are inside the Mach-E here, and I'm going to actually turn it on. You'll see some of the screens come on. You've got an all digital cluster down here at the bottom. We do have our range and battery life over here to the left. It's a little warm in Kentucky today, so we've got the air turned up a little bit. You do have this 13.1 inch vertical screen here in the center. It's a touch screen, and it splits halfway down the middle. So you've got your controls here, and then you've got the ability to use Apple Carplay, your apps, any of that. And one thing that we really like about this screen is just how much real estate there is to actually use all of your features. And it actually, in this vehicle, has a wireless charger and wireless Apple CarPlay, so you don't have to fumble around with any of those cords like you used to in previous Ford models. So we'll show you that here in a second, but I wanted to give you a quick look at the interior. This does have the premium interior, so it's really nice leather, really soft feeling. The steering wheel feels really nice, looks pretty premium. You do have your controls for your adaptive cruise, your lane centering, and all of your phone options over here on this side, and your adaptive cruise and your driving features are over here on this side. You do have down here a rotary shift, as well as you have the option to press down for low. Your park brake, you pull up for your parking brake, and you push down for that. It's not incredibly different, but that's how they've done it in this vehicle. So there is no transmission in this, so you don't have an actual handbrake and an actual shifter. It's just you put it in drive to go forward, reverse to go back. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So we'll walk around a little bit, leave it on, and we will take a look. So as you notice, it's silent. There is no engine to be had here. You kind of hear a little bit of a hum as you walk around. One thing that we've kind of thought as not necessarily a flaw, but hopefully Ford can take a look at this in the future, is there is no way to open this front trunk from the exterior of the vehicle. There is not a button on the key fob. There's not a button on the front. You have to actually get in the vehicle down here and pull twice on the lever that would normally be for the hood. And so you have a pretty good sized front trunk. You've got these dividers in here that could be removed, not necessarily easily, but could be removed. It is watertight. You do have a drain plug down at the bottom. And here you can hear, it's a warm day, so you can hear some of these fans keeping the electric vehicle cool. You've seen on the interior of the front. I'll show you the back seat. Pretty good size. I'm about 5'7", so pretty good room for a normal size adult. Any taller, we've had people anywhere from 6'5", 6'6" here in the back, and it's a little tight, but it's pretty good. As you can see, there is the full-size fixed glass roof. This is not a sunroof. It's just a panel of glass. Does not actually activate. Just sits there. We'll take a look at the trunk space. And while we're back here, I'll show you so here is the trunk space. While I'm back here, I'll show you. This is the charging port that comes with the Mustang Mach-E. You do have the charger that you can use here. This is the level 1 charger that comes with the vehicle. It is ideally your portable charger. There is a privacy screen on this premium model, and then you have the power lift gate here in the back. So you'll see here on the charging point that you have these lights will actually light up and let you realize how much charging you have left. You can open this and that gives you access to your DC fast charge on your level 2 or higher charging. So let's hop in here, give you a little bit of a look. So as I mentioned earlier, this does have Apple CarPlay, but it's actually wireless. So you can see my phone here with no charger. The iPhone SE does have wireless charging. You can just simply set it down there. It'll tell you that it's charging up here. And then now you have access to all of your apps that you would normally use on your phone right here on the center of your screen. This works really well if you have a model that does not have navigation built in. This Mustang Mach-E does actually have it. So let's go for a drive and we'll talk a little bit about driving this vehicle. Pretty much instant power. We'll actually show you that here. We'll do a kind of power test to show you. There are a few drive modes. There are 3. They're different from Ford's usual drive modes. So you press this vehicle up there at the top. You've got Engage, which is your standard balanced drive mode. You do have Whisper. Whisper is going to be your calm, you know, you're not actively trying to get anywhere in a hurry. It's just going to be very, very smooth. And then Unbridled gives you all of the power that you would have. There is a GT and GT Performance model available on this Mach-E that has about 450 or so horsepower and about 630 pound-feet of torque, which is a really, really powerful electric motor. And will give you pretty much instantaneous torque straight to the ground. With an all-wheel drive version, that'll be very impressive to see and give you about a 3.9 second 0 to 60 time. So down here you can see you do have the option for one pedal drive. If you engage that, it lets you use your one pedal, very similar to how a golf cart would be, so that once you let up, it starts braking for you. So once again, you're going forward and you let up and it starts braking for you. That's the best way to activate the regenerative brakes here on the Mach-E. You can turn that off and on. Some people don't exactly like that here at the dealership. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I've gotten pretty used to it. Also down here you do have your auto ambient light selection. You won't be able to tell that during the day here. And then you can also have the propulsion sound turned on, and they actually pipe through these really, really nice B&O speakers. I'll give you an audio sample here later on what these sound like, but through these speakers, they actually will do a faint V8 sound coming through the speakers as you're driving down the road to kind of make it feel like you're driving a Mustang GT, or make it sound like you're driving a Mustang GT, and so that it doesn't throw you off how absolutely quiet this vehicle is. So we will leave that turned off for now, and I will turn it on, off and on so that you can hear the difference. When a lot of people talk about electric vehicles and instantaneous torque, they really don't do a good job of describing it to you. The real only way to kind of see what that is like is to actually do it in person. So here is a rough example of what we mean by this vehicle has instantaneous power and instantaneous torque. And 60. So, like I said, really, really powerful. Gives you a lot of power right off the bat. With this all-wheel drive, you lose no traction whatsoever. Driving the Mach-E is really, really comfortable, partly in fact because of the distribution of weight on this vehicle. Having that battery pack lower down in the vehicle gives it a really, really low center of gravity, so you can take turns a little faster. You can take, you know, a little bit more of a aggressive driving style, and it handles really, really well, especially as an all-wheel drive version. We've only really had a chance to drive this all-wheel drive version, but everything that we have thrown at this, we have yet to have the opportunity to really lose traction. We've driven this through the snow a little bit, and it's handled everything very well. You never miss any power, and charging has been really pretty reliable from this vehicle. One thing that we did talk about a little bit in our first video that we did of the Mach-E was we talked a little about the charging times and how we weren't sure how well those would work in actuality. The portable charger that comes with the vehicle on a standard 110 plug had a rough estimate of about 96 hours to go from 0 to 100% of charge. And that number was thrown at us and was a little shocking, to say the least. But what we have realized is that if you plug it up overnight, once you get home, and you know, don't drive too much, this is not going to be a vehicle for long road trips. This is going to be a vehicle for mostly this, driving through the city, driving, you know, short distances. And we've realized that that 110 plug is going to give you enough juice once you get home till morning it'll give you enough juice to get to where you're going. And if you have a plug at your office, here at Hunt Ford, we have a plug at work, and so we've been able to plug it in once we get to work, and it's, you know, fully charged by the time we get off work or we want to take it home. But it really acts as if a normal car. I drove it home a few weeks ago and didn't even need to plug it in overnight. Came back the next morning, there was no battery loss. I went to sleep with about 70% battery, woke up with about 70% battery. So you're really going only to need to charge this every so often, and that will actually help your battery life maintain by charging it from very low all the way back up to full, and only doing that every so often. Ford actually recommends to only charge it to about 85% or so to help prolong the life of your battery. If you top it off for really, really long drives, that is okay, but trying to keep it in that 20 through 80% to maintain the life of your battery. So again, I have not touched the brake since we have left the dealership. I am driving in the one pedal mode. This is actually our used car manager here in front of me, driving one of our trade-ins. Not a lot of road noise. Obviously there is no engine sound. Slight bit of tire sound that you can hear, but overall this cabin is really well insulated, really premium. Again, this is all leather, really nice, and it's a very, very quiet, smooth ride, and we're very pleased. We've got just over 4,100 miles on this vehicle, and it's been a really, really big surprise on how much we like it. I'm actually going to change it over to the Engage drive mode. While we're here at a stop, I'll let you take a look. It tells you more about your different drive modes here. I'm going to turn on the propulsion sound. So we're going to pull here on the interstate. Show you some of these really intelligent driver's features on this Mustang Mach-E. Still on one pedal driving, not having to brake at all. Faintly in the background hear that propulsion sound that I was talking about earlier. It's pretty faint, but it's there. All right, so we're gonna turn on our cruise control, and we're gonna set our speed. Set it for about 75 miles an hour, 74. And we're going to turn on our lane keeping system. So you will see this vehicle do a pretty good job of keeping me in the lane on its own. Every now and then you'll see it kind of adjust. There we go. around a turn, handling its own, and it'll remind you every 15 seconds that you need to put your hand on the wheel. So we'll get in this lane, speed up a little bit. So you can see it's not driving itself. It'll still tell you. Ford does have that Blue Cruise coming out in the near future as an over-the-air update on the F-150, the Mustang Mach-E, and a few other vehicles, and it will be very exciting to see what it looks like down the road. And we're actually going to get off here. There is one other driving feature that I do want to show you that is a little tricky to use. Not necessarily tricky, but tricky to get used to. You grow up driving and learning how to park your vehicle, and this Mach-E will actually park itself. So I'll show you that active park assist once we get back to the lot. And you can see here just how drastic that regenerative braking is. Didn't have to touch the brakes once coming off of that off-ramp. While we're on our way back, I'll give you a quick listen at the sound system on this Mustang Mach-E. So that is the B&O Premium audio system on this Mustang Mach-E. Sounds great. It's a really great system that it is here, really balanced, and gives you a lot of dynamics for any kind of sound or any kind of music that you'd like to listen to. So we're gonna find a spot to pull into to show you this active park assist. It's actually a setting here in the vehicle. So I will show you. Down here next to the emergency lights, there is this button. It's got the P between two lines. And activating that will pull up this screen, and it is your active park assist. So you will press that, and it will give you your different scenarios on how you would park. So a parallel park scenario, backing into a spot, which is what we are going to do, and then it will let you actually use this feature to pull you out of a spot. So we're gonna back in, and it's going to scan. It tells you to use your turn signal, and it's going to scan and find a spot. We're gonna find a different one, so we're gonna keep going. And it says space found. So once you're here, if you'll notice, my foot here is off of the gas, off of the brake, hands off of the steering wheel. And so it is going to actually park this car for me just by holding the button. You'll shift into neutral, release brake, and hold this park button. And it does get a little close for comfort, but it is intelligently parking this vehicle entirely on its own. All I am doing is holding this button down here. And it'll even center itself on its own. So, pretty wild to see it steer and navigate all on its own here. And it'll tell you that it's finished. So, pretty wild to have a vehicle that completely parks itself with you literally doing nothing but holding a button. This is the Mustang Mach-E, folks, and it's like I said, we've had this for 4,129 miles and just over that. So we've had it here for a while. We're really big fans. We've actually had a few people drive this and like it enough that they have ordered one on their own. So you tell us what you think. Are you a fan of the Mustang Mach-E? Are you a fan of the new driving assist features that Ford has released here over the past few years? And are you a fan of the electric driving wave of the future? Obviously, you know, a lot of OEM manufacturers have announced that that's where they are heading. And so you tell us, are you excited about that? As always, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like down here at the bottom of the screen. It's the best way for you to tell us kind of which video content you liked best so that we can bring you more of it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we'll be making more videos like this, more first-person driving reviews like this of all the new models that come in, as well as we're going to be doing full walkarounds and feature content that you all are frankly not going to want to miss. That's about all I've got for you folks. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.